Every high performance workout should start with an activation exercise, which means the upper body performance workout and lower body performance workout. These should always start with an activation movement. An activation movement for the lower body is normally a high power exercise, meaning a form of a jump. It could be any type of jump really. It could be a loaded jump, which is a jump with a weight. It could be any form of the Olympic lifts, or it could be some high-speed prowler work. You can use a wide variety of activation exercises, and actually for the performance workout, it's better if you switch around the activation exercises as often as possible, because that will keep the nervous system on guard. It won't adapt, and you will always get that activation feeling. One thing that you must remember is that the lower body requires a lot of volume to grow maximally, but as little as that volume as possible should actually come from like regular strength training. Most people screw up their lower body session by doing too much exercises. It really doesn't work that way. The lower body work as a whole during the basic movement. So you should invest more times in those exercises, but do less exercises during your workout. The best example of this is Olympic weightlifters. They have huge quadriceps and huge hamstrings and huge glutes. Their whole lower body is in perfect balance. And basically when you think of it, the only stuff they do directly for their legs is the squat and front squat. Obviously the Olympic lifts also hit the legs hard, but even if you include the Olympic lifts in that category, it's still only 3 lifts for the lower body during a workout, but only compound movements. And they still have great and balanced leg development. The hamstrings require a lot of volume to grow. That's why it's lagging in most people. But the problem is that because of the nature of the muscle and the strength curve of the muscle, they can't actually handle a lot of direct strength work. As I mentioned, Olympic weightlifters have tremendous hamstrings. You know, they're known for their quads, but if anything, their hamstring is better. And they're known for their hamstring, and all they do is squatting and the Olympic lifts. They don't do like 10,000 leg curl types or many variation of good mornings and whatever. They really focus on the big compound movements, and they do eccentric less work for the hip extension. The Olympic lifts are basically eccentric less because you drop the weight. So that's how the hip extension function of the hamstring should be trained, eccentric less. The goal is to build as much muscle as possible while being as powerful and as strong as possible, and also doing as much work capacity as possible. So investing, always remember this, training is all about finances. You got to invest your money in the right place. So when you're trying to build up the lower body using high performance mass principles, you should select a few basic movements, but do lots of sets on those exercises. So basically, what we're trying to shoot for is doing lots of work, but on a select few exercises that will bring you the most bang for your buck. After that, what you want to do is build up volume, because as I mentioned, the lower body to grow maximally requires a lot of volume, but you must have as much of that volume as possible as non-traditional strength training methods, especially removing the eccentric. So that's where the prowler and sled work comes in. You want to do as much volume using the sled as possible. You start low, obviously, gradually, because the body doesn't maybe not have the work capacity to handle a lot of that work, because even though it's easy on the muscles, easy on the nervous system, it's still pretty draining like for your energy systems and metabolic system. So you want to build up that volume gradually, but eventually, the more volume you get with that eccentric less stuff, the more your lower body will grow. So stimulate maximally with the heavy stuff, activate first to make sure that the lower body will be responsive, and then get the volume with eccentric less work.